Dinash. Good
Hello,
morning. Are you Dinesh or are you Dinash?
Dinash ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. Dinash. And what does Dinash mean?
Ma'am, Dinash means independent.
Good. So you fulfill the criteria of your name. You are independent.
Yes, ma'am. Certainly, I am independent, but in few things, I am dependent on my family as well as my
Are
relatives.
you working today? Are you working now?
No, ma'am, I'm not working yet.
Okay, then it's a good thing to say that though I may not be, I'm independent in my thinking, but I hope to be financially independent too. Okay, all right.
Yes, ma'am.
You come from Samba. Huh? Samba was the news several years ago for something very infamous. What was that?
Ma'am, Samba is famous for cross-border terrorism and for firing across the border. So the Samba is majorly famous for.
There was something known as the Samba scandal.
Ma'am, I am not aware about the scandal.
All right. So anybody who has come from that region will be asked about 370. Tell me, listen to my question carefully. If you are a lawyer that has to appeal against the Supreme Court judgment of 370, tell me
Yes,
two
ma'am.
arguments you would use.
Ma'am, first of all, the first argument will be that the Legislative Assembly, the Constituent Assembly was changed to Legislative Assembly, and there was a provision that
Where was it changed? Where was it changed to Legislative Assembly?
ma'am, Article 367 was used, and the interpretation was changed that the
No,
term
no,
Legis Constituent.
no. It is an interpretation you are talking, not the language of any clause, right?
Yes, ma'am, interpretation has been changed.
So be clear. Interpretation. All right. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Continue.
And secondly, ma'am, it
No,
was
it's not.
the
Secondly, continue with that. Explain that point.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, the Constituent Assembly term was interpreted as Legislative Assembly, and at that time there was no Legislative Assembly in power when the abrogation of Article 370 took place. So, certainly the people of the region were not consulted while abrogation of Article 370. So,
What
this
did the
is
Supreme
the
Court say on this? You are appealing against the order of the Supreme Court. What did the Supreme Court say in the matter?
ma'am. Supreme Court said that the power of President to abrogate Article 370 remains intact even if there is no Constituent Assembly in the region.
What was the logic they used? They used a certain logic for that. What was the logic?
One logic was that that Constituent Assembly was itself abolished in 1957, and our Constitution is a living document. So we need to interpret it in such a way that the provisions can be abrogated even if the body is not in the place itself.
What is wrong with that then? What is the ground for appeal in this?
Ma'am, as the matter was bit sensitive, and the people of Jammu Kashmir should have been consulted before the step has been taken. So I believe that
That's
it
your
should
view,
have
no?
been there.
That's your view. That's your view. But
Yes, ma'am.
what is the legal argument? Maybe you're right, but what is the legal argument that can be used there?
Ma'am,
Referring
in
to
Article 2 of Indian Constitution, there has been provision that if there has been any change in the state, then certainly the legislature of the state should have been consulted by the center before taking any such step, as
what
it
is the
is the
second
matter
one?
of
What is
federalism.
the second one?
Ma'am, as of now, I am able to recall
Oh,
only.
all right, fair enough, fair enough. You're a mechanical engineer, huh? I know very little about mechanical engineering, so my questions are going to be very general. Now, listen to my question carefully. I may be comparing equals and unequals. Now, should we go into maglev, or should we go on EVs, or should we go on mixed fuels? To anchor the discussion, maybe I can help you and say from the point of view of efficiency and cost, point of view of road safety, point of view of road usage, point of view of technology. It can anchor the discussion a bit. So just say a sentence on each. It's a long question.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, for efficiency, the fossil fuels are more efficient than that of EV. And ma'am, for other purpose such as technology, ma'am, we can compare it in different ways, such as for EV, we are more dependent upon lithium-ion batteries, and the technology can be molded as per the requirements of an individual. So, ma'am, in technology, we can say that it is more or less similar. We can have both. In both of them, we can have
I've talked of
technology
three.
that we.
I've talked of three alternatives, not two.
Ma'am, can you please tell me the third
I
one?
said maglev, first of all, maglev. My first
Ma'am,
focus, maglev.
ma'am, I'm not aware about that too much.
You do not know what maglev is, huh? Okay.
No, ma'am. I will read
All
into
right.
that.
Okay. So now you compare EVs. So then in that case, let's change the discussion. Let it just be EVs, the pros and cons of EVs.
So, ma'am, first of all, for EVs, we can say that it is more environment friendly as it will having less pollution
all right.
in the air.
Be brief. Be brief. Yes. Then.
So air pollution is the first thing. Secondly, ma'am, in EVs, we will have a technology where we'll use lithium-ion batteries, and it will be very cost beneficial for running that running the vehicle
Lithium-ion battery
in
is a
EVs.
positive, huh? It's a positive in EVs. Is that what you're saying?
Ma'am, in terms of cost efficiency, we can say that it is positive as it will run on very less cost for the maintenance. For running the vehicle, it is very cheaper.
Okay, we will change now.
Yes, ma'am.
You have been following the newspapers about this Maldives issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This I'm just saying the background. My main question is something else. The Punjab High Court has recently passed a judgment saying that the press is the fourth estate. Do you know that? Do you recall that judgment? You don't recall it?
Ma'am, I don't recall.
It's in the last 2 weeks. It was a case of defamation against the Indian Express, and they said that it's the fourth estate and pillar of democracy. Now tell me, has our press really been a pillar of democracy? Has it been a fourth estate or not?
Ma'am, yes. Ma'am, press plays an important role as it plays an important role in awareing the citizens about the happenings that are there in the region and also holding government accountable. But certainly, ma'am, there has been issues that has been surfacing in this regard, and even the ranking of India in press freedom index is not
Let
up
the
to the
ranking
level
be.
it should have been.
Let the ranking be. What are the issues?
Ma'am, the news that has been brought are sometimes based on their own financial benefits. As for example, there has been news which are more attractive towards the public. So
My last
because
question.
of that,
My last question. If you were Governor RBI, what would you do with the interest rates? Raising interest rates means expansion, growth of economy, jobs, young people. Shrinking,
yes,
reducing of the interest rates means fixed income pensioners, elderly people. Would you go in favor of youth or elderly?
ma'am, as this moment, ma'am, I will take a balanced step. But as this moment, as the inflation
balance is
of the
nowhere. You have
country
to
is,
raise or you have to lower. What is balance?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as at this moment the inflation is under control, and certainly we can take expansionary measures so that the economy is expanded and youth are provided the opportunity, and it will have a positive impact on the economy as well.
Navneet, please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am.
Morning, Zinash.
Good morning, sir.
Now, at present, two conflicts are going on in the world. And you know, there is an international organization called United Nations.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me for what purpose United Nations was constituted and whether it has been successful in meeting its objective, keeping in mind these two ongoing conflicts?
Yes, sir. So, United Nations was established after Second World War with the aim, to prevent any Third World War that will happen, and also to maintain the peace and stability all across the globe. So at this moment, two wars has been there. First one is between Israel and Hamas, and secondly between Russia and Ukraine. And sir, if I talk about the United Nations stand, sir, United Nations has not been able to deal with the situation as that it can have been done. Sir, there are number of reasons beside that. So firstly, there has been use of veto power. So because of that, the decisions are not taken the way it can have been. And sir, I believe that the United Nations could have done much better in this regard.
What, in your opinion, should change in United Nations so that it becomes an effective organization?
So first of all, I believe that there should be representation for other countries as the countries who are the member of United Nations at present. They represent the time of Second World War, where there were the members only who were the victorious during that time. So we need to have proper representation of countries such as from Africa Union or India, countries such as India, who are the emerging economies and who are having a huge say in the global politics. So representation to such countries should be there, sir.
Representation to United Nations or representation to some other body within the United Nations?
Sir, membership, permanent membership to the United Nations Security Council, to be more precise, sir.
Say that Security Council.
Yes, sir.
It's a permanent membership to the Security Council that needs to be expanded, that needs to be made more broad-based.
Yes, sir.
What is the role of governor in Indian constitutional scheme of things? And whether the governors have been playing that role as envisaged in the constitution, or they are doing something else?
Yes, sir. So, the role of governor in the constitutional scheme is that he should maintain a balance between center as well as state. He act as an administrator for the state, in which he takes the decision which are in the interest of the state, and he is appointed by the center. And generally, he also, I can say that, have a cordial relationship with the center and state. So, sir, at present, there has been issues in that. For example, governor has been reserving the bill and not giving the assent to the bill, so which is leading to the contradiction among the states. So, sir, this is the issue that is surfacing nowadays.
Have you read the recent judgments of Supreme Court in relation to the role of governor?
Sir, in recent judgments, Supreme Court has said that the governor should have given the assent to the bill within the time framework, and should not have used their power of reserving the bill or giving the assent to the bill to favor the center or to have a biased decision. So, sir, this was the judgment in this regard.
What does the Constitution say? If a bill is passed by the Legislative Assembly and is sent to governor for his approval, what does the Constitution provision says?
Sir, according to Constitution, the governor can withhold his assent, or he can give his assent, or reserve, or he can also reserve the bill for the consideration of president. So these are the major provisions in the Constitution.
Okay. Recently, Qatar was in news in
Yes, sir.
respect to India. What was the news about?
Sir, there were some Indians who were caught by the Qatar agencies, Qatar government, and there has been allegation that these individuals were doing espionage for Israel. So, sir, this was the issue, and there has been given punishment in this regard.
What kind of punishment was meted out to them? What punishment was given to them?
So initially they were given death sentence, but after that there has been a change, and now there has been a reduction in their sentence, and now there is a punishment up to 5 years. This is the case.
Okay. Now coming to Red Sea area. You must have read the news about Red Sea area.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the Indian Navy has been playing a certain role in that area. What kind of role Indian Navy has been playing, and what is the problem in Red Sea?
So recently there has been news that the ships that are passing from that area has been targeted by the militant organizations in that area, and now the Navy of India has been playing a huge role in maintaining the safety and providing that support that is required so that the situation in that area is balanced. So this is a major role that has been played by Indian Navy in this regard.
But why these people are attacking ships passing through that route?
Sir, that is done to highlight that there should not be a proper trade, and to spread the terror in that region, so that the trade has been the trade is reduced from the region itself. So, sir,
No.
I think this is the major reason.
What is the triggering factor? What is the triggering factor?
Sir, I'm not sure, but as far as I have read, sir, it is because of the war that is going on in the region. So, for in the support of that, and they are doing such things.
Okay, thank you, Dinesh. Sorry, Dinash.
Yes, sir.
Vijay, please go ahead.
Dinesh, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You mentioned about College Fest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me, what are the learnings you got from the College Fest?
Yes, sir. Sir, in our college fest, first of all, sir, there were many learnings in that. Firstly, sir, I was leading a team of more than 50 to 100 volunteers were working under me. So I learned how to work in a coordination and learn the skill of teamwork. So that how a teamwork can lead to a proper event that can be there in the college. So secondly, sir, there were many other learnings, such as involvement in various other fests. My communication skills were improved during that. And sir, the social cohesion that were there in the college certainly have a positive impact on my personality also.
Okay. Now, being a mechanical engineer, can you tell me about 4 machines which are used in day-to-day life by Indian society and have undergone massive improvement over last 3, 4, 5 decades?
Sir, there are many machines which are used in day-to-day life. So, firstly, I can say that automobile sector, the vehicles that are used, that we use in day-to-day life. And sir, secondly, I can say that the fan that we are using, initially they were based on cells. Now they are more based on Internet of Things, and we can operate them even by voice commands as well. Sir, thirdly, I can say that televisions that are there has also been changed a lot, has been evolved. And sir, fourth, I can say, so air conditioners that are there, they have also evolved over a period of time. So these are the four
Okay.
things that I'm able to recall.
Okay. Can you tell me the difference between a tool and a die?
Sir, I am not able to recall at this moment, sir. I
You are
will
a
see.
mechanical engineer and this is a basic thing. Try to read about it, okay?
Sure, sir.
Tell me, in your opinion, what were the reasons which led to abrogation of Article 370?
Yes, sir. Sir, there were a number of reasons behind the abrogation of Article 370. So, first one will be the terrorism that was prevailing in the region that has led to the instability. So, secondly, I can say that the infrastructure development and the development in various aspects that Jammu and Kashmir could have achieved was not done because there was restrictions due to Article 370. And sir, third, Jammu and Kashmir is the integral part of India. And because of Article 370, there was asymmetric federalism that existed. So, sir, in order to integrate Jammu and Kashmir to the Indian Union, that such steps were required. So, sir, these were the major steps that led to the abrogation.
Tell me, what is the first reason you mentioned about terrorism?
Yes.
How is terrorism related to 370?
Sir, before abrogation of Article 370, there was political instability in the region. And secondly, there were very separatist tendencies that existed in the region. And support was provided by some of the separatist groups that existed. So, sir, these were the major reasons. Because of that, terrorism prevails. But now, as the security forces has been enhanced and positive steps has been taken in the field of social sector and development, so certainly things has improved after abrogation of Article 370.
Second reason, you said infrastructure creation.
Yes, sir.
How is that related to 370? 370 puts
Sir,
no bar on infrastructure creation.
so when there was Article 370, there was very less private investment in the region. So after the abrogation, there has been a boom in the investment in the private sector, and union government has also brought number of steps in this regard. So, sir, after abrogation of Article 370, the private investment that has been brought has improved the infrastructure as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Coming back to Samba. Samba is in Jammu region, right?
Yes, sir.
There is another district in the Jammu region, Kathua.
Yes, sir.
These two are having a border with Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
Out of these two districts, which is strategically more important from maintenance of law order, controlling terrorism activities, etc., and justify your answer with reason.
Sir, I believe that both are strategically important, but if I have to compare between both, then Samba is more strategically important, as the cases of cross-border terrorism and the cases of internal security issues such as drug trafficking, human trafficking has been more in the region of Samba. So, sir, because of that, there is more strategically important of the Samba district compared to Kathua, which is more stable than that of Samba.
Okay. Tell me, why do you want to join civil services?
Sir, in civil services, I will be provided wider opportunity and that I can utilize for the welfare of society, because I will get some decision-making power in the field. Secondly, sir, I believe that it will provide, when I will be working on ground and solve the problem of the larger masses, it will also provide a sense of satisfaction. Sir, these are the major reasons I believe I want to join civil services.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Varun and Shekhar, please.
Okay, Tinash, very quickly, your name means independence, right? So just a factual question, which is the last, recently independent country in the world?
Sir, I will read that. Sir, I am not aware about the fact.
No problem. What would be the criteria for, proclaiming a country to be independent?
Sir, for a country to be an independent, so first of all, there should be sovereignty. That country has ability to take its own decision, and also it should not have depended on other countries to take their decision. So secondly, sir, I believe that the public that is there in the country should be heard, and there should be involvement of everyone in the decision making. If it is there, so I believe that the country is independent.
Okay, you do Bhangra, right?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how did Bhangra origin and where is it performed? When is it performed?
Sir, yes, sir. So Bhangra was originated in Sialkot district of Western Pakistan, sir.
Close
And
by, right?
Bhangra is, yes, sir. And sir, Bhangra was started by Deepak brothers in that region and was very much supported by the Maharaja of Patiala. And sir, it was traditionally performed during the harvesting season in order to spread the joys that was there.
Fine.
Sir, this was
Is it a male dance or do females also perform?
Sir, initially it was performed by males, but now females are also performing.
Can you name some famous female dancers which made it popular?
Sir, there are many female dancers, such as, sir, one is Diljit Kaur, who is from Patiala University, who is very famous for that. And sir, there are various teams such as Ronak Punjabi is a team who also performed the Bhangra dance.
There is a competition, Rania Di Ronak. Have you heard of that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, any idea who won last time? Which team
won?
Sir,
I'm not sure, sir, which team won that.
Okay, what is your optional? Just wait. I would.
Sociology is my option.
Sociology is the option, right? So let me hand you over to sir then.
Hi. Hello, Dinesh.
Hello, sir.
Dinesh, what is gaslighting?
Sir, I'm not sure about. I've not read gaslighting.
Okay. What is manipulation? What is the difference between manipulation and influence?
Sir, influence means to change the attitude of an individual towards something, And sir, as far as I know about manipulation, sir, manipulation is negative influence, where we use the techniques which are negative and not providing proper evidence while influencing an individual.
Is it the same as propaganda?
Sir, I don't think, sir, it is same as propaganda, sir, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. If you have to find a secular reason of opposing same-sex marriage, what would be that?
So can I take a few seconds to think?
Yeah, sure, please.
Sir, as far as I can recall, sir, firstly, sir, our religion does not agree with this thing, as in our religion, same-sex marriages are not very much promoted or support. Sir, this can be a
Secular.
reason.
That's why I asked, because most of the oppositions are based on religious principles. So that's why I've
Yes, sir.
asked for a secular reason.
Sir, biological reason can be given to that, as it is not biologically possible to have offspring when there is same-sex marriages. So, sir, this can be a reason, and that in opposition to same-sex marriages.
Does that mean those couples who choose not to have kids, shall their marriages be annulled?
Sir, it is not the case. But, sir, if I have to give a reason for opposing same-sex marriages, sir, biological can be one that I'm able to recall at this point.
Okay. Okay. Coming to engineering, why do we usually avoid any particular steel or maybe iron object to get rust? Let's say if an iron object gets rust, isn't it a good thing that it will prevent further rusting from happening? Why do we usually take it off, like that, take the rust off? Why do we rush to take the rust off?
Sir, because of rusting, the quality of the product reduces, and it has a negative impact on its appearance as well. And also, sometimes it has a negative impact on the strength of the material. So, sir, this can be the reasons why we
But
remove the rusting.
having rust on the surface, do you think will it prevent further rusting from happening, as it will form a layer?
Sir, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. One last question. If you have to open a manufacturing plant in India, what would be that of? What would you manufacture?
Sir, at this moment of time, as we are moving towards more technology, so semiconductor can be a product that I think we should manufacture in the country.
Semiconductor.
Yes, sir.
And why don't we still do it?
Sir, steps as taken in this regard, sir, there were few reasons, as there was lack of technology and infrastructure in the country previously. Because of that, semiconductor was not built. But now, sir, government has been taking various initiatives in the form of incentives, such as production linked incentive, and we are focusing more on Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, sir, things are improving, and we will be having more semiconductor production in the country in future.
And why do you think you'd be able to start such a manufacturing plant?
Sir, firstly, there is a need of this in the society. And sir, secondly, I have some mechanical engineering knowledge that based on that, I think I can also contribute in this regard. So this is the
Okay.
major reason, sir.
That's it, Dinesh. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. So what I'll do is I will give you my feedback and then request my fellow panelists to take you on. So Dinesh, first of all, you must understand a question. You must pay attention and understand a question. In my maglev
Okay.
question, you just overlooked the main burden of my song. You're a mechanical engineer, which is why I asked you alternative technologies. And I said from point of view of technology. So
Yes,
there you would have really, it would have worked against you, that one. There's
okay.
some that don't matter. There's some questions that matter. So being a mechanical engineer, that would have mattered.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you have to be brief. You don't have to give the history, geography, background of everything. If you found that on each question I was saying, okay, next, because you were just elaborating and dilating on round and round and round. Come to the point.
Okay.
If you don't
Okay,
know,
ma'am.
I'm sorry, I don't know. And try
Okay.
to answer in bulleted points with aspects. For example, I gave you a clue also. I said on counts of efficiency, road usage, safety, and technology. So these were cues for you to answer. But basically, I mean, EVs, you are talking about lithium ion battery. That is a bottleneck, isn't it? I asked you also. It's a bottleneck.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? You kept on saying very good, very good. You never got into the issues of EVs.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, charging points, technology, all
Transfer.
that, safety, everything. You just went round and round and lost your opportunity, right? And I'm sure you knew it because you
Yes,
obviously
ma'am.
would have studied being in mechanical engineering. You'll get any question like that. And maglev
ma'am.
you had not heard of. That's the magnetic levitation, the trains.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, I will.
Pay attention and try to this thing. Now 370, again, I asked you a question, 2 points. You got stuck on one. 2 points. The argument that the Supreme Court had used was the accession is irrefutable, whatever the language they used. So therefore, they have closed that opening. And when you're part of Union of India, you're part of Union of India.
Yes, ma'am.
They have said that because that clause was recommendatory, it was not binding on Government of India. Therefore, consultation was not necessary, they've said at one place. So that can
Yes,
set
ma'am.
a precedent for this sort of a thing anywhere, that anything recommendatory is not binding, need not be gone through. Secondly, they
Yes, ma'am.
have not commented on the state being made a UT.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is the main point, and they have simply covered up by saying that there shall be election by so and so date. Further on, they've
Yes, ma'am.
directed Election Commission directly. They could not have. They would have told the government, because government would have to do the notification. The legalese they would have had to do. So this
Yes,
is, and this means that they can redraw the boundaries of anything without consulting anybody. These are
Yes, ma'am.
you're there, you must prepare this, right? It's very important to prepare. Jammu Kashmir, you must prepare everything about it. And this 370, all likelihood you will get asked. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Samba was the Samba spy scandal. Officers of the Indian Army were selling secrets. It was all, if you Google Samba scandal today also, you will see it, I'm sure.
Okay,
So
ma'am, I
you
will
must
also.
know, you must know all about your district, right? Now, RBI, you said, I'll do both. Yes, I mean, a good answer, there can be many answers. I asked you opinion questions, to which there are many answers. But first of all, inflation is not in check. That was an incorrect statement. We are at the top end of the RBI band. It should either be around 4, it's 4 to 6, and we are at the top end, right? It is not in check.
Yes, ma'am.
And who does inflation hit the most? It hits the weak. But nevertheless, if you take an argument in favor, I'm just telling you how to answer a question like that. You have to actually think how you can, it's a difficult question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you are choosing the youth, then I would have said, yes, interest rates I cannot alter, but I would recommend to the government that there should be a social safety net for the old. You're
Yes,
enlarging the size of the cake. And if you choose the old, then you would say something about employment, separate, some scheme. So try to think on those lines. Otherwise, you are pleasant, you are promising, you have a good command of the language, everything. When is your interview?
Ma'am, it is not in the phase 1. I have.
You need to prepare. You're
Yes, ma'am.
underprepared, and it's a good thing you came early, because now you know where you need to prepare. And Maldives, okay, the press one. You have to disaggregate a question. Don't lump it. You see, there's press, there's there's the electronic media, there is the print media, there's the social
Yes, ma'am.
media. I gave you a clue on Maldives. Social media has been very irresponsible on Maldives. They will get a conflagration between India and Maldives, and we will lose, because they say, oh, we will boycott, we will boycott. How can we boycott? China will step in and
Yes,
we'll be
ma'am.
nowhere. And that's not the way we handle our neighbors. Okay, they have been horrible. There's no way to do what they did. There are other ways to handle it, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
And the print media and the electronic media, you put on a different footing. You're right that they're controlled by the money, and actually they will watch their interest. But in terms of balance and in terms of news coverage, the two are very different. I would say electronic media is completely the pits. Print media,
Yes, ma'am.
1 or 2 newspapers are marginally better. No, I mean, yes, you do have that problem. So try to disaggregate a question, understand it in its pieces, and answer. Think a moment before answering, and try to give both sides of the picture. Okay.
Okay,
My
ma'am.
questions were not
Sure.
easy. They were composite questions. I will concede you that. But your knowledge base was being tested also, along with your part to form opinions. So your knowledge base, you definitely need to work on. Navneet, please.
Nash, one thing I think, because you have already been tested through written examination, so there will be questions. They will try to judge you from the knowledge you have of what's happening around you. I think I found you little wanted there, because like answering on United Nations also, you did not mention the Security Council. because it is the Security Council which plays the key role in preventing various kind of
Yes, sir.
conflicts. So you have to read similarly other incidents which is happening, whether within
Yes, sir.
India or outside India. I think you have to read. Like governor also, you are not very sure. Means you have to
Yes, sir.
read because judgment regarding governor role of governor in the case of Punjab, then Kerala, then Tamil Nadu. You know what are the powers of the governor and what the constitution envisages, what the Supreme Court has said. You have to be very clear and aware of that, and then you have
Yes,
to
sir.
have your opinion also. And if your whatever is your opinion, you have to support it with logic, or you just if you have an opinion, so you have to read, and especially you have a lot of time for the interview.
Yes, sir.
So this is the time when you can read and pick up on these things. I think if you do that, that will do you a lot of good. Otherwise, you are a good candidate, no doubt. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Vijay.
Dinash, I have 2-3 suggestions for you.
Yes, sir.
One is, since you are from Samba, there is a great possibility of you being questioned about 370 terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, etc., etc. That was the reason I put those questions to you. You have to read a lot about both the 370
Yes, sir.
and terrorism. 370, from the day of 370 incorporation in the Constitution of India,
Yes, sir.
it took more than 25 years for the terrorism to enter Jammu and Kashmir. And therefore, there cannot be any nexus.
Yes, sir.
Terrorism has a component resulting out of 370, but it is not direct. You have to specify about those components. The collusion of local law and order machinery, the collusion of local elected government, the free hand given by the, opinion makers, the societal leaders, and the state machinery to
Yes, sir.
such fellows, the direct and indirect assistance provided to such fellows by the machinery or whatever, and the limitation on the role of then Indian state or outside agencies. So you have to read a lot about 370. I am sure you do not know much, so maybe didn't strike your mind. Read about it. Same with terrorism.
Sure, sir.
If you try
Okay, sir.
to question, if you try to compare the incidents of terrorism in Kathua and Samba, you will realize your answer was wrong. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir. I will
read about terrorism. Since you are from Jammu region, read about terrorism more in that region. Okay. Yeah, these are my suggestions. One final thing, your answer was, on EV. Your answer on EV, as far as lithium-ion battery is concerned, was, much below expectation from a civil service aspirant, right?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
You should be careful in that's a limiting factor, because there is not a single manufacturer of lithium ion cells in India.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, 100% they are imported, and that is why lithium ion battery is a constraint.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, all the best.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Varun and Shekhar, feedback, please.
Right, Dinash, just frame your answers about Bhangra, right? There has to be a light in your face. Suddenly when the Bhangra part comes, right, your face has to glow up, your eyes have to dilate, ki haan yaar, ab to wo area hai jo I am good at. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So that happiness is something that has to come, right? You could have mentioned about it becoming an exercise, a form of exercise as well, while you were, answering about it. Rani, just go through a few, famous Bhangra dancers and singers, right? And if you can add that when you're talking about it, they will realize is that, okay, you're passionate about it. Okay? And that is what we're looking when we are talking about a hobby, right? Independence part, South Sudan is the last one. Just look at the criteria. right? Okay, there are a few criteria, obviously, but you're not a political science student, so it's fine, right? I really don't, obviously want to push you there, but Kosovo क्यों नहीं है? Sudan, South Sudan क्यों है? That can be a thing, right? Shekhar.
And जैसे दिनाश जो personality is like absolutely perfect, fine. जो pause and answer, ठीक है, slight pause is fine. और उसके बाद जैसे ना अभी टाइम है तो आई वुड हाईली रिकमेंड कि मैकेनिकल और सोशोलॉजी दोनों ही रिवाइज कर लो और रादर रन
Yes,
थ्रू एंटायर विकिपीडिया. ठीक है, विकिपीडिया में देख लो, जो उसमें कुछ डाउट आ रहे हैं तो पढ़ लो, देख लो. और अभी करंट अफेयर्स पे तो काम करना पड़ेगा, बहुत ही करंट अफेयर्स पीछे रह गए हैं ऐसे लग रहा है. और जो मैकेनिकल मैम ने जैसे मैगलेव पूछा, तो मैगलेव तो आना चाहिए. मैगलेव इज आई डोंट नो, लेकिन जब मैं कॉलेज में था तब मैगलेव के प्रेजेंटेशन होती थी. अभी 20 साल बीत गए उस बात को. तो इसीलिए जो ये चीजों पे यू नॉट सपोज टू से नो. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए जनरली, क्योंकि ये ऐसे होता है मौके पर चौका टाइप वाले मौका है, यू जस्ट कांट लेट देम गो. ठीक है, इस पे नंबर तो हमें नंबर गेन करने हैं. तो जस्ट
Okay, sir.
रैपिडली रन थ्रू व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, लेटेस्ट थिंग्स व्हाट आर हैपनिंग एंड अदर थिंग्स. ठीक है, तो बस आई गेस अभी टाइम है तो दैट्स द बेस्ट थिंग.
Yes, sir.
Inash, is there anything you want to ask any of us?
मैम बाकी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स वगैरह बोलने का वो उस पे कितना थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है?
वो सब ठीक है. No, communication, speaking and all is all right. But you see, your force in your argument comes when you have more depth and more knowledge. So your personality, everything, that is all right, not a problem. But you have to work on your knowledge base, then you can speak more passionately. You can communicate as more of an equal. You can then stop ducking questions because you're not sure. Questions you
Yes,
should
ma'am.
know, or pretending you haven't understood them or ducking them. So that is important. Your content is important. Baki delivery, etc. is all right. And जो थोड़ा बहुत improvement चाहिए वो हो जाएगा once you have more knowledge base. So my suggestion is, since अभी कब तक interviews आ गए हैं, till about 15th of February?
18 Feb, ma'am.
18th, huh? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are after 18th Feb. So you have a long time. So then I would suggest that at least 100 issues you should identify from your DAF, from your subject, from current affairs, and work on those. And maybe after,
Sure.
at the end of January or something, you should come back for a mock. मेरी advice ये है कि आप mocks अभी stage पे ज़्यादा ना करिए. See, you know,
Yes,
where you
ma'am.
have you done any more mocks just now? ये पहला
No,
mock
ma'am.
है. तो
एक पहले
आप,
दिया था मैं स्टार्टिंग.
ठीक है. तो feedback similar था या अलग feedback था?
तब कम्युनिकेशन में बहुत प्रॉब्लम था.
अच्छा, नहीं, it's much better now. But see, content is most important.
Yes, ma'am.
Communication का बस ये बिंदु है कि सोच के बोलिए. Think, structure your thoughts, and then speak, answer. And also,
Sure.
if there's an opinion question, try to be aware of both sides of the picture so that you don't get caught in an
Yes,
argument
ma'am.
later. But knowledge base पे आपको work करना है, जैसे सब panelists ने आपको बताया है. And my advice is कि after 31st January, 1st February, you come back. Okay, all the best,
Okay, ma'am.
Dinesh. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank
Log
you.
out.
Thank you.